Alright, this is a 30-liter emergency barrel. I always take it with me canoeing. Normally I should say I'm traveling at least 3 canoes, and so it's not that big of a burden. I couldn't find my luggage scale right now, but that's pretty heavy. That's about 40-50 pounds. There are some changes I need to make to it, and I'm just going to document what's in there right now. That's a half-size 30-liter barrel. I painted it red so you always know it's the emergency barrel. Spray paint. So, canoe repair kit. This is a good piece of real cloth and G-Flex, which has some flexibility to it, and it's epoxy. There's other types of epoxy you could use too. So I've got a good sized tarp, a 10-foot by 10-foot D&D hammocks in Scotland, really awesome tarps. Got that. This is a small first aid kit. I won't bother showing what's in there. Well, iodine, bandages, that's due to be restocked by the looks of it. It's probably 8 years old now. Duct tape. Another first aid / emergency kit. This has fire starters, things for fishing, fishing line and all that kind of stuff, a bunch of medical gear, an emergency mirror, a tick picker, all that kind of stuff. This is a full-length poncho that doubles as an ultralight tarp. It's sil nylon. This one is polyester and polyurethane. Water purification, bug dope, knife sharpener. I've got a Mora knife in there. That's a relatively recent addition. On my last trip we realized that's one thing I didn't have in here, so I added it. Some tent pegs, a whole bunch of matches, emergency candles that go in a candle lantern, but I don't think I actually have the lantern. A SAM splint, that's one of those flexible splints. Oh, my 1.5-year-old is not happy. Something to read, a canoe manual, a very short one if you're bored and you want reading material. Alright, stop it. Now, one important thing about the emergency barrel is that the goal is to never have to open it. So what you have in here is secondary gear. My little first aid kit in here is secondary. I have a primary first aid kit that would get used in an ideal situation. Nothing in this barrel gets used on a trip. You just know you have it there in case of emergency. Oh yeah, so one thing I forgot to point out. 2 things missing. Food, there should be power bars or something, and some basic clothing, base layer, light sweater or something like that. All those. The sleeping bag arguably can double for that, no problem. Alright, so as I said, reading material if you are bored, canoe manual, another type of tick puller. This is like Dyneema cord. It's crazy. What's it say? 202 kilo, 445 pound tensile strength, 3 millimeter, 1/8 inch, 56 feet it says, 17 meters. Got that. An alcohol stove, and it's got alcohol in it. I've got toilet paper. I've got a big one, a sleeping bag, and there's something in there. What the hell? Oh, another little stove. Oh, that's right. I have a little isobuto stove, and inside the sleeping bag is a canister for the isobuto. That's one of these little $5 ones off of that come out of China or whatever. And oh, some of my water purification tablets fell out, so I'll put them back in there. This is a little titanium stick stove, so it builds into a octagonal stick stove, and it works pretty well. I've used it a few times. I haven't used it in a long time. And then some more matches. These are not fireproof, windproof matches, a bunch of those stormproof matches. So that's my emergency barrel. I learned this in Scouts basically. This is what we always take with us on scout trips. I even have taken it, like some people will say, oh, that's impossible. Well, I took that guy shooting this video, my 10-year-old, on a canoe trip, just the two of us. We took this and a shit ton of other gear, and we still had a lot of room left in the canoe, so it wasn't burdensome. We weren't doing long portages, but anyway, that's my emergency barrel. Even day paddle, short day paddle, always take it with me. For one, it's good ballast if I got one of the kids in the front. It's really good ballast to equal out the weight, but just for the sake of having it. And I usually have carabiners that clip it onto the canoe, but I don't have that here now. All right, good.